Alright, my name is Thomas Kelsall. This is my reflective video for Introduction to Programming. First of all, I'm starting off with variables, then I'll be moving on to inputs and outputs, then selection, so if-else statements, followed by loops, and then finally arrays. Now, starting with variables, we've got an integer x, so that can be any non-decimal number. Can be put in there. Char, at the moment only a single letter could be put in there because I haven't made any room for multiple letters. I can do that, however, by adding the square brackets and a number. However, I'm not going to do that. I do that later on. I've got weight defined as a double because weight can be measured in, well, it can have decimal points to it as well. So, and doubles work with decimal points. So here I've defined x as 5, point as d, and weight as 5.6. And then I'll have a printf where it shows those values, as you can see here. Okay, this is part 2 of my reflective video, inputs and outputs. Here I have my 4 main variables. I've got my 2 chars for first name and last name, and 2 doubles for birth year and current year. I use doubles because they're going to be used for calculations later on. So doubles are a lot better to use in calculations as opposed to integers. Here we have, please input your first name. The user will input their name using the scanf function, and that will be saved into fname. I'm using these flushes because whenever you hit enter after putting in your first name, the program will just carry straight on and end. So that's to prevent that. Follow that, you've got your input your last name. Yep. Then you've got to input your year of birth. This is a left float. And then that will be saved into B year. You've got current year, C year. Then we have another define. We've defined age is equal to C year minus B year. And then in the output, you have your name is first name, last name, and you are age, which is defined by these after the comma here. So now I'll just quickly demonstrate this. And there you go. The inputs are Thomas Kelsall, 1998, 2017. Your name is Thomas Kelsall and you are 19 years old. There's your output. Okay, this is part 3 of my reflective video, selection or if-else statements. So here we have an integer a and an integer b. B is already defined as 16. The user will then insert a value. It can be anything including 16. And then here we have an if a is greater than b, print that a greater than b is true. Otherwise, a greater than b is not true. And that means that if a is greater than b, it will show this. If a is not greater than b, it will show this, as we will see here. So please input an a value. I'll put in 17, which is greater than 16. A greater than b is a true statement. Now I'll put in 15. A greater than b is not a true statement. And now I'll put in 16. And it is not a true statement because a is not greater than b. It's equal to. So here we have part 4, loops. Now there are 3 different types of loops. There is a while loop, a do-while loop, and a for loop. Now all 3 of these loops require me to insert or I've made them so that they require me to insert a y value so that it will limit the loop. Now then, I'm going to quickly show that while x is less than or equal to y, it will continuously output the year with a number until x is equal to y, or is greater than y. So I'm going to put in my input as 6. So we have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'll do 4 this time. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, this last loop, the for loop, is starting at x is equal to 3. And it's ending when it'll equal x. It'll say iPhone X at the very end. So whatever value I put in here, it'll go up to that value, and then it'll go up until that value. It won't include that value, and it'll make it an x instead. So I'll make it 7. There you go, 3, 4, 5, 6, x. Alright, this is the final part of my reflective video, arrays. Okay, so here I've defined my first array. I've got 2 arrays in here. We've got golf, which has 4 slots in it. Our first slot, we have defined the letter G. The second is O, the third is L, and the fourth is F. Now, our goal is to make it so that the program will write this out backwards. So here we've got a for loop, which will allow us to do that. Now then, underneath we have a second array. This is a 4 by 3 array. And that's 4 rows, 3 columns. So our first row has 2, 3, -1, second 0, -3, 5, etc. So now this for loop is going to make it so that it displays our array in a nice grid as well. So let's quickly demonstrate this. There we go. So our first one, golf backwards, is flog. And then we have our 4 by 3 array. A little zigzaggy, but you can still see there's a grid there. That concludes my reflective video.